After a series sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals, Dusty Baker's first-place Reds continue their stretch of games against the National League Central, as Carlos Zambrano and the Chicago Cubs come to town next on Fox Sports Ohio. It's a chilly night, but it's a dry night, and we welcome you to Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati as this 7-game homestand continues with the first of 2 against the Chicago Cubs. And on the heels of the 3-game weekend sweep for the Cardinals, the Reds sit a game and a half in front of St. Louis in the Central. Chicago 4 games under, 5 back. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy Jeff Brantley. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. It's no great secret, Jeff. It's been this way in baseball really since the very beginning of this grand old game. If you pitch well, especially your starting pitching, your chances of winning are real good.
Well, the one thing that the Reds have had is they've had a huge shot in the arm with both Bailey and Cueto coming back. Both of those guys coming back, you see the numbers there. But the thing that has been remarkable is the fact that not only have they pitched well, but the internal competition, if you will, inside of that clubhouse, starting pitching-wise, they have really picked it up.
You look inside the numbers of Homer Bailey, and I'm not sure he could have pitched any better than he has his first 2 starts.
I agree with you, Tom. I think the big thing for Homer Bailey is that he really feels like he belongs in the big leagues. He wants to be a great pitcher, and a great pitcher goes out and goes after it each and every time. Whether you have that 95-mile-an-hour fastball or not, you go out there and pitch, keep your team in the ball game, and you play to win.
This time roughly a year ago, it looked like Carlos Zambrano's days might be over in Chicago, but after coming back late in the year, he's throwing the ball a lot better.
Well, he's very comfortable in this ballpark, and the Reds are going to have to do whatever they can to make him uncomfortable in a hurry.
All right, you know who's back in that lineup. The Reds welcomed him back this weekend, and he is rolling indeed.
in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, it is a chilly night tonight, and we're hoping it stays dry. To give us more on that, let's check in with Tim Hedrick.
Well, cool and clammy down at the ball yard tonight. Take a look at temperatures, mid-40s to upper 40s with a chance of an occasional light rain shower. Home team, I'm pitching first. You get the bat.
Very nicely done. And how about the return to the lineup of this guy, Cowboy, Scotty Rowland.
Everybody expected him to have to take a bit in the minor leagues, or maybe just one game down for a rehab appearance. But when you played the game as long as Rowland and you have the small amount of movement that you do in that swing right there, well, all you really need is a little bit of batting practice and a ball game to play in.
Well, we got a ball game. Cubs in town for the first of two. Homer Bailey and the Reds against Carlos Zambrano and the Cubs. Another Central Division matchup when we return. By State Farm. State Farm agents are there when you need them. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. By your local Ford dealer, Ford Drive One. By the Regional Tourism Network, book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Crowd still rolling into Great American Ballpark. Reds have taken the field. And they welcome the Chicago Cubs for the first time this year to Great American Ballpark. And their manager took over for Lou Piniella last year. Mike Quade, his lineup has Kosuke Fukudome in right, Darwin Barney at second, Starlin Castro at shortstop. Aramis Ramirez, a cleanup hitter at third, Alfonso Soriano in left, Marlon Byrd in center, with a latter third of Carlos Pena, Coy Hill, and Carlos Zambrano. 2 starts, 2 wins. Only 1 run allowed in 13 innings for Homer Bailey.
The object tonight, Tom, is to keep that lineup that you just went through off the base paths. They are in the top 2 or 3 in the National League in batting average. But what Homer has got to do is keep them from crossing that home plate where Ryan Hannigan's standing right now.
Reds, of course, beat the Cubs 2 out of 3 in Chicago, despite the fact that during that series, the Reds collectively barely hit over 180 in the series. And the only game the Cubs won is when they rallied in the bottom of the 9th inning on that Saturday to beat the Reds closer Francisco Cordero. A lot of of good batting averages up and down the Chicago order. As Cowboy mentioned, as far as getting on base, they are very good. Their problem has been hitting when runners are on base. Kosuke Fukudome digging in. And a first pitch breaking ball up and away, and we're underway. Fukudome, case in point, .344 batter, but only 3 runs batted in. That leadoff spot has been terrific for the Cubs so far this year. Look at that on-base percentage. Nearly 45% of the time, their leadoff hitter is getting on base. 1-2 on Fukudome.
Last pitch, a split finger from Homer Bailey. You could almost see Fukudome had to stop his swing. His momentum carried him out of the batter's box.
Came back with a fastball at 93 miles per hour, and Fukudome fouls it off. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tuesday night in Houston, Bailey 7 scoreless innings in a 7-3 Reds win. He only allowed 5 singles. He has only allowed 1 extra base hit in his 13 innings since coming off the disabled list. That was a double here at home against Hunter Pence. Still 1-2.
This is the part of Kosuke Fukudome's game that drives pitchers crazy. His ability to foul off fastballs with 2 strikes and get deeper into the pitch count.
Still 1-2, 6th pitch of this at bat, and it's another foul ball, so there will be a 7.
And as a pitcher, as Homer Bailey, you're a 1-2 count here. Well, the last thing that you want to do is give in to the hitter. You want to make the pitches that you would like to make. And right now for Homer Bailey, those pitches are fastballs.
Came back off speed and just missed the outside corner. 2-2. Fukudome's been tearing it up in the friendly confines where the Cubs have not played well. They're only 9-13 at home. They're 8-8 on the road. He went around, and that's strike 3.
Gave him the backdoor slider on the pitch before, barely missed, and then comes in with the slider there to punch him out.
Let's take a look at the Reds on defense, presented by Ford. Johnny Gomes back in the lineup in left field. Drew Stubbs in center. Jay Bruce in right. Edgar Renteria the nod at short over Paul Yanish. And Ryan Hannigan back in there after getting hit by a pitch on Friday night. Ramon Hernandez was more than up for the job on Saturday and Sunday again.
Smoking.
Strike 1 to Darwin Barney.
You can see the fingers of Homer Bailey inside the glove. Watch the snap on the breaking ball as it drops down and in. That ball starts in the heart of the plate, Tom, and that's what makes it so difficult with 2 strikes to lay off. If it starts in the plate, you must commit.
Barney won the job as the Cubs' everyday second baseman during spring training. Played collegiately at Oregon State, where he won a pair of College World Series titles. Threw a fastball right by him up in the strike zone, even the count 2-2.
That's the part of Homer Bailey's game that very few pitchers are able to do, and that is elevate that four-seam fastball right about chest high. Hitters see it as being such a big pitch, but yet by the time they swing at it, it's like trying to hit a golf ball.
That fastball at 95 miles per hour by Bailey, and he's taking a long look in and asking the home plate umpire, was it up? He's asking Sam Holbrook, and he said, yep, it was. John Hirschbeck at first, Laz Diaz the umpire at second with Scott Berry at third. 3-2 on Barney. Very impressive numbers for Darwin Barney in this his rookie year. officially a rookie.
Well, you hit 333 coming to the big leagues. You've done awfully well. And part of the success there, Tom, is what he's trying to do right now is staying behind the baseball, trying to drive the ball the other way. Try to forget about the ball that's inside. Let your talent take care of that. Look for the ball middle away. That way you can get a fastball or stay in there long enough to foul off the breaking ball.
Second straight 8-pitch at bat. And this one ends in a walk. So they're making Homer work right through the first 2 hitters. And here comes a guy in Starlin Castro. We remember last May when he made his major league debut right here at Great American Ballpark. He hit a home run his very first at bat in the major leagues and set an all-time major league record, driving in 6 runs in his major league debut. Now you talk about a guy that makes you work. He may not walk a lot, but you may remember when the Reds were in Chicago leading up to that series, Castro had gone nearly 40 games without swinging and missing at a single pitch. Not one.
And he swings at a lot of pitches. That's what makes it interesting. But the bottom line is he makes a tremendous amount of contact.
Now the running game has been virtually and nearly completely non-existent.
Well, they are second to the last in stolen bases in the National League. They have 7. They've been caught more than that.
Talked to their manager Mike Quaddy when the Reds were in Chicago as Bailey has fallen behind 2-0. And he said point blank, he said, unless it's very late in the game, I don't like to bunt. I only have a couple of guys on his team that I feel like we can play hit and run with. We'll do that from time to time. But they're a team so far this year that's sitting around waiting for the home run ball that just doesn't come. It's a hard team to understand.
That has been a struggle for this club.
And now all of a sudden Bailey has fallen behind 3-0 on Castro.
Bailey is trying to figure out exactly where the strike zone of Holbrook is right now. He had a fastball earlier that Holbrook called high, and then that pitch there he called down.
That's back-to-back walks now for Homer Bailey.
And Homer has not done that in any start, in either start I should say, that he had earlier. You know, Tom, you've heard me talk about this to ad nauseum, I guess, but to me you have to have as much knowledge about the umpire that's behind home plate as you do about the hitters that you're facing on that given day. You got to know where the strike zone is.
Well, here's a guy who is a notorious first pitch fastball hitter. Bailey had only walked 1 batter in his first 2 starts. He's walked him back-to-back with 1 out here in the first inning. Wow. I mean, this is a nickel-size strike zone tonight for Sam Holbrook.
The old postage stamp. And a lot of folks will say, well, everybody knows the strike zone. Well, yes, technically you do. But every umpire's strike zone is different.
Now Brian Price, the Reds pitching coach, says hang on a minute.
Well, I think as much as anything, this is as to give Homer a breather, give him a little bit of encouragement to get back into the strike zone. We've already seen Homer hit 95 twice here in the first inning, so it's not a question about stuff. He's just got to get the ball into the middle of the plate, make somebody swing the bat. And in this position with 1 out, Tom, 1 swing of the bat, if they hit it off the end, get you a ground ball, you're out of the inning. You start things awfully safe the next go around. Normally Holbrook is not this tight behind home plate.
Well, Barney drew a walk after going to a 3-2 count. Castro walked on 4 in a row. And now 2-0 on Aramis Ramirez.
the only guy that has consistently hit the ball out of the ballpark is standing on deck. That's Alfonso Soriano.
Soriano with 11 home runs. 3-1 the count on Ramirez, who has 1 home run and 15 runs batted in. For so many years, Ramirez among the best run producers in all of baseball. And Bailey has walked him loaded. And in all fairness, it might be a tight zone, but most of these pitches are without a doubt out of the strike zone. Soriano, a lot like Ramirez, loves to first pitch swing, but he doesn't need to because Bailey can't get it over the plate.
Well, he has thrown a lot of breaking balls here, and we didn't really see that the first go round, the first 2 starts. Many more fastballs early in the ball game.
Came back with a fastball there, and Soriano tardy. Now this is an area, as we talked about, the Cubs haven't had any problems getting guys on base. As you see, Soriano tied with Lance Berkman behind Ryan Braun for the most home runs in the league. But the thing that has killed Chicago so far this year, and you hope that trend continues the next couple of days, the inability to hit with runners on base. But they're loaded with 1 out here, and it's 1-2.
You see, this is where Homer Bailey has got to realize that he's got a fastball that most folk can't hit. Now, the guy standing at home plate can hit anybody's fastball, but when you throw 95 miles an hour, it's tough to catch up to it.
Struck him out for the 2nd out of the inning. Came back off speed that time, and that was his best off speed pitch of the night.
Came with a slider, and he started in the same spot that he had the fastball on the pitch before. And Soriano comes up empty. So 1 more batter, and Bailey can bail himself out of an awfully rough first inning.
Well, he's facing a red-hot Marlon Byrd. Batting average up to .312 for Marlon Byrd, thanks to a 15-game hitting streak, and there's strike 1.
And he likes to hit the ball right back up the middle.
Byrd got off to a terrible start, but over the last 20 games has been a .354 batter. They're loaded with 2 outs. 0-1 to Byrd. 0-2.
That was an ugly swing right there. I'm not sure what he was expecting, but it wasn't that pitch.
Not a single ball has been put in play in this inning, and this will be the 32nd pitch of the inning. How about that? Bailey walks him loaded and strikes out the side. My, oh my. Reds coming up against Carlos Zambrano when we return. Lakers starting lineup. Drew Stubbs in center. Edgar Renteria at short. Joey Votto at first. Brandon Phillips in the cleanup spot. Jay Bruce in right. Scott Rowland at third. Johnny Gomes back in there in left. Ryan Hannigan back behind the plate and Homer on the mound. Carlos Zambrano 4-1 his ninth start. ERA under 4.5. By and large, outside of 2 of those games, he has pitched very, very well.
And he loves pitching here. He may be one pitcher in this home run park that it is at Great American Ballpark that would rather pitch here than probably any other place.
He has won 5 consecutive starts here at Great American Ballpark going back to July of 2007. A 5-0 record with an ERA of under 1. There you see his overall career numbers at Great American Ballpark. Where Zambrano had so many issues a year ago after being the #1 Cub pitcher for 7 prior years, and last year got into a fight in the dugout during their cross-time rival with the Chicago White Sox with his own teammate Derek Lee. Was suspended by the team for a short while. And this one is driven into deep right center field. Bird will have room. Boy, on a summer night, that baby's long gone. But not tonight.
Well, Zambrano is successful because he doesn't throw the ball there. He's a sinker ball pitcher who keeps the ball down in the strike zone. But he's facing the #1 team in the National League as far as hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and that is the Cincinnati Reds.
Now Edgar Renteria. One and one.
Now this is Zambrano to a tee. A long fly ball, a ball that almost gets out of here. Well, next batter up there, he's going to let you know that he is the guy that's the boss.
Well, he's temperamental, he's flamboyant, he's all the above. The people who know him as a guy, they like him. I mean, you don't find a lot of guys that say, hey, this guy's a jerk, this guy's a clown. But there are things that he has done throughout his career on the field where you just wonder, what's he thinking about? I mean, he fought his own catcher, Michael Barrett, a number of years ago. In fact, beat the tar out of him in his own clubhouse. 2009 was suspended by Major League Baseball for 6 games for inappropriate and violent actions in a game against the Pirates. Last year, we told you about the Derek Lee situation. And on July the 29th was placed on the restricted list. Kid did treatment for anger issues as he fans Renteria for the 2nd out of the inning. Take a look at the Cubs on defense, presented by Ford. Bird can go get him in center. Fukudome very good in right. They're solid up the middle, and Castro and Barney. And Coy Hill gets a nod behind the plate. Their regular catcher with a night off, Giovanni Soto. Soto recently placed on the disabled list, and Wellington Castillo was brought up from the minor leagues. That's a pretty good bat out of that Cub lineup. 1-1 to Joey Votto.
No doubt. And a guy that runs this pitching staff in Soto. You saw the defense on the Cubs side, and they are not used to this fast infield that the Reds have here. You're playing at Wrigley. The grass is thick. Ground balls don't get to you as quick as they normally would. And on this hard surface, that ball shoots through the infield in a hurry.
3-1 on Votto. Joey, a .345 batter, 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Didn't get a chance to swing the bat a lot in that Cardinals series. Was intentionally walked 3 times, but he had the game-winning hit, of course, on Friday night. Fouled out of play, 3-2.
Well, it is a really hazy night here.
And it's cold.
And even on that ball there that was hit towards left field, the center fielder Bird broke late, as did Soriano, and they may have some trouble seeing the ball off the bat.
Three and two on Votto, and there's a 2-out walk, and the inning will continue for Brandon Phillips. Brandon at 324, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in, at a big series over the weekend against the Cardinals. Every time they walked that guy in front of him, he made the Cardinals pay. Every single time.
Amazing, wasn't it? I mean, that's a lot of pressure that you put on yourself if you're Brandon Phillips, much less that they apply a little bit extra. Came right on through.
He had 6 runs batted in the Cardinals series. Check swing. They appeal. He did not go around, says John Hirschbeck.
To be honest with you, Tom, I like the way Brandon Phillips plays the game.
There's no doubt about that.
And not just because he's a Gold Glove second baseman. I like the way he plays it all the way around. He has a good time, and he comes to beat you.
And even in that Cardinal clubhouse after the game on Saturday, there were a number of Cardinal players that had very flattering things to say about Phillips. Basically what you just said. Unbelievably talented and comes to beat you every night.
And you
That's high praise.
Can't help but respect that from the other dugout.
Zambrano all over the place so far here in the first inning. He's only allowed the 2-out walk. But outside of Stubbs, he has missed and missed badly.
Well, his arm is live. He is jacked up as normal.
Performance Honda Exmo camera there, giving you a look at the reaction from Phillips. Got underneath that one, and this should end the inning. 1 walk, 1 left, end of 1, no score. Injuries, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Take a look at this time a year ago after 40 games. Unbelievable, isn't it, Cowboy?
It's unbelievable that it's almost identical to what it was last year. A couple of more wins. You're out in front by a game more than what you were. But the thing it doesn't have on there is the fact that the Reds finally swept the Cardinals. Or finally won a series from the Cardinals.
Well, you're not lying. Swept them for the first time since 07. They did not beat them in a series all of last year.
That's got to make anybody in that dugout on the Red side feel awfully good about themselves.
Well, you may remember last year was the lineup change that Dusty Baker made before the team took off on a road trip to Houston at the end of April, where he moved Orlando Cabrera way up in the order, and the team took off and started playing very, very well. This year, the bottom line is they've gotten Homer Bailey and Johnny Cueto back, and that rotation has just been outstanding. And, well, the hits just keep on coming. They've gone 6 straight games now with 10 or more hits. High fly ball. Playable for Jay Bruce. Hey, by the way, it should be noted, the Cardinals are playing the Philadelphia Phillies. There's no score at the end of 1. Albert Pujols is okay after getting hit by a pitch in the 9th inning yesterday by Francisco Cordero. Interesting to note, however, that Pujols is in the lineup, but in the lineup playing third base tonight for St. Louis.
Oh, well.
They have Lance Berkman in at first base. Colby Rasmus still out with an injury, an undisclosed injury. So John Jay's playing center and Alan Craig is in right. Boy, if we thought their defense was bad over the weekend, it took about 3 steps back with all those changes tonight.
Well, Pujols is a marvelous player, but you can't just switch from one side to the other. The ball comes off the bat a whole lot different. I mean, you can ask Edgar Renteria. He's been a shortstop his whole life and an awfully good infielder, and playing third base is not something that he relishes.
2-1 to Coy Hill. Of course, Albert Pujols has played third base, but he hasn't played it regularly in well over a decade. He's played a couple of innings here and there this season when they made double switches and that kind of thing, but not started again. Well, Bailey's got to be wondering on some of these pitches. Now, he missed badly with the majority of all those pitches out of the strike zone in the first inning, but that last pitch to Hill, he's just got to be wondering where he got to throw it. Stubbs coming in to get it, and Hill retired, 2 away.
And I think for Homer, in a normal situation in the past, if this had come up, might have been something that would have really frustrated him. It would have been something that may have taken him out of that first inning. Instead of it being scoreless with 3 strikeouts, we might still be in that first inning and Cubs running around the base paths. But he has come a long way in how he believes in his stuff and how he believes in himself.
Yeah, he can't take Zambrano lightly. He's up there to hit, although they're going to take care of him on 1 pitch. So for Bailey, it only took him 9 pitches to get through this inning. No score. Bucking Bull. Plus, you'll get Dusty's thoughts about the weekend sweep of the Cardinals on FoxSportsOhio.com, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. It's right up your alley there, Cowboy. Good-looking lid.
Not sure I want to get on a real bull.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've already had enough surgery. That might snap my
you never
back.
tried one, you know, like they put them in some of those country bars, one of those mechanical bulls at the very minimum. You ever done one of those?
No, I haven't.
You're kidding.
I have come very close, but not close enough.
I've done it. I wouldn't let them crank it up because, you know, you watch a few people get thrown around. That doesn't look like any fun.
No, the only reason I didn't do it is because of the way my back is. After 2 surgeries, I don't need it.
No, that wouldn't be good. A ball and a strike on Jay Bruce. No score. The Reds bat here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Jay at 243. 8 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Out off to the 3rd base side. Whereas Jay, by and large, had a very quiet series against the St. Louis Cardinals until his final at bat in the 7th inning yesterday, when he had a 2-run double that you thought put that whole thing out of reach. His only other hit in the series was his infield hit that knocked in a run in the first night. Actually, he had 2 hits yesterday, so 3 total in the series.
Boy, he pulls off of every single pitch that comes to home plate. Unless it's middle in, he either fouls it off or hits it to the first baseman.
I am very surprised more teams don't put a shift on him. Aren't you?
And a lot do. You see where
short left field, 1 out.
And you see where that ball was, outside, and his backside was going to the first base dugout, and his bat was going, well, somewhere out towards where the ball was. I mean, that's just a lunge and flip the bat out there.
Strike 1 to Scotty Rowland. Average of 274, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Well, when he comes back, and yeah, he had a big series, had a lot of hits, but just his presence in the Reds lineup, what a difference it makes.
And the numbers show it.
Boy, do they ever. I mean, the Reds win and win and win and win when Rowland's in there, and they really struggle to win when he's not.
And it's not just something that we talk about. It's pure fact.
In the air right field, that's easy for Fukudome, and the Reds still without a hit, 2 away here in the 2nd inning against Zambrano. And Johnny Gomes coming up.
Well, the ball is not carrying at all in the ballpark tonight. We've seen fly ball after fly ball just head out to the outfield to die. If you're going to hit it out tonight, you're going to have to get a little juice in it.
Two and 0. There's been so much talk about what Dusty's going to do about left field, what he's going to do about Johnny Gomes. The Reds don't win the National League Central Division last year without this guy, but he is scuffling mightily right now. The Reds are gone in order. End of 2. We're scoreless at Great American Ballpark.
No, that was 0-2. I'm trying to get in and Pujols, and I'm hit him. And the show I hear Jed Allaire. Out of everybody in the dugout, Jed Allaire is the one calling me off. You know, yelling at me, pointing at me, and saying a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I got nothing against the St. Louis. You know, it's just we're playing a good game, we're playing a good battle. You know, there's a team we're fighting in the division right now, and he's all over me, yelling at me. So, out of everybody, out of all the greatest hitters or greatest players they have there, Jed Allaire. He don't even play. If he's watching it, he don't even play. He's the one coming out and yelling at me. Jed Allaire, come on.
Evidently, back in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, when these guys were back in Texas, they did not get along at all because they played together the whole time. Came up in the minor leagues together, and evidently they didn't see eye to eye.
Well, that's what happened. You heard it. Not only did Gerald Laird start it, apparently Dave Duncan, their pitching coach, also had a few things to say out on the mound at Cordero. I mean, you know, when Albert Pujols comes out after the game and said, there's no way this guy's trying to hit me. With Matt Holliday and Lance Berkman coming up behind me, there's just no way. As Fukudome begins the Cubs' third in a scoreless game with a ground ball to Phillips. And Lance Berkman even came out after the game, said, look, these are grown men playing a kid's game. Stuff every now and then is going to happen, and there's really not a whole lot much to it. Leave it be and move on. But when you get Joe Patini, now, you know, oftentimes you can hear in an interview, I think you get a much better idea when you can see it on television, and maybe a guy's facial expression, the tone of voice he delivers something in, and I would give Joe Patini, who I like a lot, the benefit of the doubt. But, you know, to make the comment, it's always something when we come in here to play with these guys. You know what I mean? I don't get it. There's a base hit into right center field. First hit for either team tonight. It's a one-out single by Darwin Barney. By the way, Tony La Russa was supposed to come back tonight.
It's like he got a breaking ball up and out over the plate. That would be termed a cement mixer there, Tom. It was just spent.
Now Castro walked his first time up. Big swing and a miss. Strike one. Well, it'll be a while before the Reds and the Cardinals get together again, so Cowboy will worry about that sometime down the road, say around July.
And it'll all come back then.
And ironically enough, the next time they meet, it will be the 4th of July.
They may create their own fireworks.
Indeed. Two on Castro. And for the first time all night, we've seen a hitter argue balls and strikes.
Well, if he didn't think that was a strike, then he doesn't know the strike zone, because that ball was right down the heart of the plate.
Try to get him a chase away. Castro does not. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think sometimes hitters, when they step back from the box after taking a pitch like that, they're shaking their heads in disgust because they didn't swing it. Because that pitch was a pretty good pitch to hit for Castro, and he didn't pull the trigger.
Take a look at the National League Central versus Central standings presented by Honda, and you see the Reds again making big time hay as they did last year. The only team they struggled with inside the division a year ago, of course, was St. Louis. They wore out everybody else. I mean, they've already beaten up Milwaukee, beaten them, what, 5 out of 6 so far this year. Struggle with the Pirates. We'll see them Wednesday and Thursday night.
Well, that's what you have to do if you're going to win your division.
And here's what we were talking about Castro in his first at bat. Now, he swung and missed at the first pitch in this at bat. But those swings and misses are so few and so far between, especially for such a young player. As you point out, Cowboy chases a lot of pitches out of the strike zone.
The one thing that I have noticed about Castro from the first time we saw him, he has shortened his swing more.
Double play ball here, and that takes care of the Cubs in the third.
That's why you don't swing at a whole lot of pitches.
Reds coming up. Hannigan, Bailey, Stubbs against Zambrano in a scoreless game. Of 2 with the Cubs in town. On our Farmers Insurance report card, we talked about the Cubs. I mean, they get on base. Our old buddy Tim McCarver made the comment a week and a half ago, if first base was home plate, the Cubs would never lose a game. Well, they have a problem getting on, not getting on, but getting in. And look at the Reds batting .330 during that same time frame. We told you they've had 6 straight games where they've had 10 or more hits.
Well, I had a very good feeling that the Reds would begin to go back to hitting the ball the way they did early in the season if they got some consistent starting pitching. They've gotten that, and now this hitting is taken right back off. And I don't think they're done. I think they're just getting started offensively. You keep putting numbers up like this from a starting staff, there's no telling what this club can do offensively. You get everybody going.
Good breaking ball in there by Zambrano. He gets ahead of Ryan Hannigan at 1 and 2. Good to see Hannigan back in the lineup. There was some debate even yesterday whether or not his hand was going to be good enough after getting drilled on Friday night to catch Homer Bailey here tonight. Easy play for Bird.
Another fly ball.
All 6 outs outside of the strikeout of Renteria in the first inning have been in the air. Well, you go back to 2009, and the Reds lead all teams in every division in Major League Baseball, winning inside their division. And But 09 wasn't really a good year until about the last 40 games.
Exactly. Well, I think that the way that the schedule is structured now.
First hit of the night belongs to Homer Bailey. They tried to throw him out at first. That wasn't going to happen.
But the way that the schedule is structured now, where you play predominantly the majority of your games in the same division, you win the majority, you win a lot of those games, you got a chance to win the division pretty easily. It's a good idea there from Kosuke Fukudome. At least he was charging the ball and didn't just Cadillac to it.
Well, Homer got the case of the bees there after that.
Yeah.
Got over there to first base.
Houlihan in. Feel like you're holding a chainsaw.
The Reds have their first hit tonight, a one-out single by their pitcher, and here's Drew Stubbs. He hit the ball very hard his first time up. Caught in front of the wall in deep right center by Marlon Byrd.
Stubbs had an awfully good series. He was one of the Reds hitters that hit the ball well in Chicago. Seemed like every time he was coming to the plate, he was either rattling the ivy or hitting it into the seats.
And he takes a 4-pitch walk. Well, you go back to that series in Chicago. Jeff, you and I were right here on Fox Sports Ohio for that one. Got the big win in the series opener. Let one get away on Saturday when Cordero gave up the tying home run to Carlos Pena to lead off the ninth. Cubs won it in the ninth. And then the Reds dominant in the finale on the mound. And look at that team batting average. 181 for the Reds.
And you won 2 out of 3 and should have won them all.
Edgar Renteria struck out his first time up. He's down strike 1 here. So we were talking about Drew Stubbs and how well he is playing right now. On base for the first time here tonight. If he gets on again tonight, that will be 9 consecutive games where he has been on base at least twice. If that continues, the Reds will be winning 8 out of 10 games a lot.
Yeah, they will, but
A lot.
when you've got your leadoff hitter doing what he's doing now over this short span of games, it makes you feel real good about the future of this ball club.
His on base percentage here over the last, including tonight, 10 games, is getting on base 48% of the time that he comes to the plate.
That's pretty solid. And I think that as you see the young players like Drew Stubbs making adjustments and getting better, we've seen Hannigan do that. We've seen Cueto and
Double play will end the inning here.
Homer Bailey do the same.
A hit, 1 left, end of 3, still no score. In our military around the world, JTM Food Group. Buy your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by John Deere, visit your local Cincinnati John Deere dealer this deer season. We'll look across the mighty Ohio from the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
I didn't see any sunshine over there, partner. Looks a little rainy.
Don't even say that word out loud.
Thunderstormy.
Ramos Ramirez, Alfonso Soriano, Marlon Byrd in the inning. First pitch swinging is Ramirez. Short of the track, it'll be Gomes. One pitch and one out. Our AT&T trivia question for tonight. What former Reds pitcher threw a no-hitter later in his career while pitching for the Chicago Cubs? I'll give you a hint. His name, despite not being a great pitcher, and for that matter, a very average pitcher for the Reds, is a name that will live in history for many, 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 many Reds fans. It has nothing to do with what he did on the mound. To Soriano. And there's a fastball strike. A breaking ball strike, I beg your pardon. Soriano struck out with the bases loaded and one out in the first inning. For those of you just joining us, Homer Bailey with one out walked 3 batters in a row, but then struck out the next 2 to get out of the inning. Came back, had a 1-2-3 second. Allowed a 1-out single in the third, but got a double play ball, and he retires the first batter on 1 pitch here in the 4th. Straight away center field, and much like the ball Drew Stubbs hit, maybe on a summer night, July or August, that baby's banging around out there in the lawn area.
That pitch there looked like it got in on the hands a little bit of Soriano. Normally the times that Soriano really hits one, he gets that full extension out there, and he really got tied up a little bit. He almost had to alligator arm that ball to hit it.
2 down for Marlon Byrd. For the final out in that first inning, when the Cubs left them loaded.
But how good is it to watch Homer Bailey and Johnny Cueto? You see a Travis Wood, those 3 guys, the young guns, if you will, not only throwing strikes on the outer part of the plate, which is where they're taught as they come up, but now pitching inside and throwing strikes inside. Not every pitch, but just enough to keep hitters from having to dive out over the plate.
Trying to gather himself after falling behind 3-0, and he delivers a strike. Saw him take a long walk behind the mound there, gather his thoughts, rub up the baseball, hoping to leave Pena squatting right there on deck. Three and 2.
When you see these young pitchers working quickly, coming back when they've been behind in the count, throwing consecutive strikes, not taking all day long walking around the mound and worrying about what they're doing, it makes you feel pretty good that they have an idea that they're going to be okay.
Came all the way back from 3-0 to retire Bird.
Got him with a slider.
A 32-pitch first inning, 33 total the last 3 for Bailey. Of Loveland, Ohio, currently owns a 2004 Camry. Will win the beautiful new Tundra on display every night at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win it at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Each team with a hit, neither team with a run. The Cubs have stranded 3. The Reds have left 2. Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, and a routine roller to Castro. Zambrano in a little bit of trouble the last inning. Allowed a 1-out single to Homer Bailey, then walked Drew Stubbs on 4 pitches.
Well, he normally is a ground ball pitcher, but yet the ball has been up in the strike zone a little bit tonight. And the Reds have put the ball in the air, but still have not really hurt him at all.
They got Renteria on that double play ball with 2 on and 1 out to end the 3rd. Big huge swing by Brandon Phillips. He's down a strike. Joel Luckup, our statistician up here in the booth, has informed us the Phillies scored a run tonight. I mean, this is almost
ridiculous.
From the there's no way that's true category. But it is. When the Phillies scored a run in the 2nd inning, that's Cliff Lee on the mound tonight for the Phillies. It is the first time they have scored a run while he has been in the game since April the 14th. Castro will throw out Phillips for the 2nd out here in the 4th inning. All right, now we answer our AT&T trivia question. What former Reds pitcher threw a no-hitter later in his career pitching for the Cubs? And the answer is the man traded for Frank Robinson. Milt Pappas. That's why I say his name will forever reside in Reds lore. Here's another pop-up into short left field. And the Reds are gone in order in the 4th. Sports Ohio, that's Reds Live with Jim Day and Jeff Pecora. Scoreless game at the end of 4 here tonight. Latter third in the batting order coming up for the Cubbies. Pena, Hill, and Zambrano against Homer Bailey, who survived the first inning. Walked 3 batters with 1 out, but then struck out the final 2, Soriano and Bird, and he's only allowed 1 base runner since then. And the Reds will put the big shift defensively on Carlos Pena. Of course, we saw him put down a bunt with 2 strikes for a hit when we were in Chicago. Of course, Pena brought in from Tampa Bay. He was a big part of that franchise's turnaround, but year by year the numbers began to slip, especially the batting average numbers, along with the power numbers. And the Cubs signed him to a 1-year contract. You may remember last year they traded Derek Lee right around the trade deadline to the Atlanta Braves. And Derek Lee now playing for the Baltimore Orioles.
Tell you what, he is not exactly sure how he's doing with the Orioles right now, but he was a player in his time.
Check swing, you got to be kidding. Rolling will throw, but they'll never get it. Well, that's living right there.
Fastball in, and couldn't get the bat head out. The ball hits his bat, and he ends up with a base hit. Go figure. I guess if you're hitting 200, sooner or later you'll find one.
You were wondering about Derek Lee, what kind of year he's having with the Orioles. 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in, batting .227. Runner goes, and a base hit into right field by Coy Hill. So surprise, surprise. The Cubs, who do very little, if anything, ever to try and manufacture a run, play hit and run, and they're on the corners with nobody out.
And for some reason, this really locked up Phillips. He had no place to go. He starts to move right because of the runner, and the ball is hit right to his left. And at that point in time, he could not even move.
But now Homer Bailey with a little work to do.
And this guy can hit.
I mean, if Mike Quaddy doesn't like the bunt, it would be hard to imagine that Carlos Zambrano is going to bunt. I mean, they've had a hard enough time scoring runs this year. We talked about all their issues with hitters with runners in scoring position. This guy's a legitimate hitter.
Well, he is. The only problem is he is not as good a hitter from the left side as he is from the right side, at least so far this year.
Zambrano flied out to left field, which would have been more than deep enough to bring a runner in from third had there been one there in the second inning.
If you're Mike Quaddy here, you're not doing anything. You're just letting him swing the bat.
1-1.
And for Homer Bailey, if that's the case, then you've got an opportunity for a strikeout here and then a double play. But that double play would have to come at the expense of Kosuke Fukudome.
Third base side, and Bailey ahead of Zambrano at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Really cut that ball in on his hands. you've got a couple of places you can go if you're Homer Bailey. You can go up in the strike zone with a fastball and try to get him to swing at a pitch up and out of the zone, or you can bounce a curveball in front of the plate and get him to swing at that. You don't want to give him anything he can make contact with.
Bouncer to Rolen. He's going to throw to the plate, and it gets by. And both runners are going to advance. Cubs lead 1-0.
Well, he makes the catch, and the throw way off balance. And I don't think Pena was planning on going to the plate anyway. I think he was stopping no matter what once he saw Ryan Hanigan go into a block the plate stance, and then the ball just goes all the way off to the first base side.
But now Homer Bailey in a pile of trouble here in this inning. Already trailing 1-0 there at second and third, and still nobody out. There's strike one to Fukudome, who was struck out swinging and bounced out to Brandon Phillips. Well, you always talk about it. You hear the words all the time in these situations. Damage control. I mean, it would be a tall order to get out of this inning without any more runs. I mean, obviously that's the game plan. But if you get out of here with allowing maybe one more, I mean, you'll take it.
No doubt about it.
No RBI for Zambrano because Pena had stopped. They scored a fielder's choice error on Rolen. And now this time they have the runner solidly in the rundown. And a nice play by Hanigan to make the tag and prevent Fukudome from going on to second base. So that's the first out in the inning.
Well, it works out exactly as you said, Tom. You want to make one throw in a rundown and get the runner. That's why Rolen holds the ball there. He runs the runner towards the plate. Now Hanigan sees the runner in the background coming to third, so he keeps right on going. Hill has to turn to him. As he does, Fukudome has no chance to go to second base. So in essence, you keep the double play in order, and you've got a chance to get out of this with exactly what you just got finished saying, one run.
Well, Barney has been on twice. He's drawn a walk and singled into right center field. Remember, that's a pitcher running there at third base, Carlos Zambrano. And there's strike one. Fukudome does not have a stolen base attempt this year. If there's a guy in his Cub lineup you certainly would think about hitting and running with, if you're going to do it at all, we've already seen it in this inning. This would be the guy at the plate. Short right field. Bruce can't get it, and it rolls by him. Boy, he gambled to get it, and when it gets by him, it allows the runner to go first to third, and it's a 2-0 game.
Ball not hit that well at all, and Bruce trying to come on in a hurry to get the baseball. But in this situation, instead of going down to the knee, you've just got to keep the ball in front of you. Because as soon as that ball goes behind you, Fukudome is going to third, and that's exactly where he stands now.
Well, they're not hitting very hard off Bailey here in the inning, that's for sure. They had a check swing infield hit, which started this entire inning. Hill with a clean hit and run single into right. Couple of ground balls to third, an error. And now a little dunker to right. Now you're hitting the heart of the order. To Bruce in right. Runner will not get back in time to tag up. So they're two away in the inning.
And that ball there was hit off the end of the bat. mean, if you're Homer Bailey, you are doing everything plus some to try to get out of this. A breaking ball off the plate away, hits it off the end of the bat. And Bruce with that arm in left field, there's no chance Fukudome is taking the tag and go. Now you got one more guy to get through.
And that's Aramis Ramirez, who's drawn a walk and flied out to left field. Strike one. Well, we talked about it a minute ago. When the Cubs had a run in, they had runners at second and third with nobody out. And said, perfect world, it's the only run you give up. But you'd be able to walk away and feel okay about things if only one more run scored. Well, one more is scored. But you need one more out. One and one on Aramis Ramirez. Runners on the corners and two away.
Golly. Tell you what, Homer Bailey is showing the emotional equivalent of a 10-year vet right now with the way that this strike zone is tightening up as the game goes along, and the fact that he has not had a whole lot of luck, if any at all, behind him.
Two and two on Ramirez, 2 on and 2 men out. And Bailey the pause and Bailey the pitch. And it's high to run the count full. So now the runner at first base, Darwin Barney, will get a start. Ramirez has walked tonight and flied out to left field. Real good work by Homer Bailey. He does give up 2.
Watch a couple of young pitchers right here with Homer Bailey. You've got that right arm really up in this nice tight angle as he delivers the ball to home plate. That's what you ask for, that hard angle. Now watch Zambrano. Boy, his arm is really down here when he lets the ball go. Look how low the arm is as he comes to home plate. That's what about 10 years will do to that shoulder. The tightness, the throwing over and over and over again. If you don't keep that shoulder stretched out, you're going to end up lower and lower and lower, and that's exactly where Carlos Zambrano is right now. And if not for being such a big man with such a huge amount of shoulder muscle, he would probably be much worse off.
Lowell retired to begin the 5th inning.
You can see the release point, and even though it's not a huge degree of difference right here in this picture, but look how much higher Homer Bailey is with the arm, and this is how far down the elbow is for Carlos Zambrano. A lot more stress on the shoulder and a lot more stress on the elbow. But Zambrano has been able to use that to his advantage, taking advantage of that sideways movement.
Zambrano's never won a Cy Young Award. He's never been a 20-game winner, as he has just struck out Gomes on 3 straight pitches. I'll tell you one thing, Zambrano has had an outstanding major league career. I mean, closing in on 300 starts, 120 wins against only 75 losses with a career ERA of 3.5. I mean, you know, you get to a certain point, and Zambrano was a guy who, you know, a number of years ago said the Cubs are going to win a World Series. He's going to win 20 games. He's going to win a Cy Young. I mean, what do you want him to say? Well, people jumped all over his case when he made those comments, but I mean, what do they say when you come out and say, well, we're going to lose 89, I'm going to win 14?
Exactly. You want a guy that is coming to battle for you each and every day. I'll tell you what, this guy comes to battle for you every day. He may have had some issues, but I think the issues that happened with Carlos Zambrano were much more about being sick and tired of losing than they were about anything else.
One and two on Ryan Hannigan.
I mean, I don't think he's the first pitcher or player that's ever snapped in the dugout because his team was playing terrible baseball.
No, but he's the first guy in a long time that beat the tar out of one of his own teammates in the clubhouse. I know that for sure.
That we know about.
Yeah, well put. Well put.
Most of them have enough sense to back down.
Yeah, this is when he got into it with Michael Barrett. It started in the dugout.
That's Barrett there.
And then apparently after this happened in the dugout, both of them took it up in the clubhouse, and it got ugly for Michael Barrett in a hurry, by all accounts.
Well, when he pointed up, when Michael Barrett pointed, he was pointing to the fact that you're the one that's giving up those balls that are landing way up there. That's exactly what he said. He and I might have got that little point right there. You don't do that to your pitcher.
Zambrano is chewing up the Redlegs lineup here tonight. They have 1 hit, and that's by Homer Bailey. Cubs lead 2-0. initiative during our 2011 baseball year. We salute Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, we invite you to please visit standup2cancer.org/Fox Sports. Homer Bailey trailing 4-0 as he takes him out here in the top of the 6th inning. He'll be facing Alfonso Soriano, Marlon Byrd, and Carlos Pena. So a 2-0 game. St. Louis, by the way, scores twice in the bottom of the 4th inning off Cliff Lee to take a 2-1 lead. And I'm told by a friend back in Cardinal territory that it was Albert Pujols' suggestion to his returning manager tonight, Tony La Russa, that he play third base.
Well, I think there comes a point in time for anybody, especially a guy like Albert Pujols. You got to do whatever you can to win. And after being swept here, I would imagine that the last thing that Pujols wants to do is lose.
But, you know, it's the kind of thing to me, Cowboy, in a day and age, and I'm not suggesting everybody, but in a day and age where, you know, you'll have a shortstop, but they want to move to second base. You'll have a second baseman, maybe they want to move over to short.
Well, I'm right there. I know where you're going.
They want to move out into left field. That's why when I hear about stories like that by Pujols or Chipper Jones, what he has done in his career, you know, going all the way back to guys like
Biggio,
you know, Robin Yount, Biggio, those are big leagues.
I'm right there with you, and I applaud them
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And the guys that come to the team and say, look, you can delay my money however long you want if it'll help us right now. There's just a lot of guys that are me, I, and they don't care about the rest of it.
2-2 to Soriano, and there's a ground ball backhanded by Renteria.
Now the thing about it is, can Albert play third base with the ball being hit that hard down that? I mean, that is the ultimate hot corner. It's not like first base. Third base is it's a bear.
Now Marlon Byrd, he struck out in the 1st inning, grounded to shortstop in the 4th. Bailey at 91 pitches, and of course a third of those came in the opening inning. Then he got on a real nice roll through the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings before that extended 5th when the Cubs scored twice. His spot due to lead off the bottom of the inning. Well, you learned during the pregame show with Jim Day and Jeff Piccolo, the Reds put Aroldis Chapman on the 15-day disabled list with shoulder irritation, and brought up right-hander Jordan Smith from the minor league.
And we'll see how that goes. I think it's as much about getting himself together as it is about anything. When you're throwing from 3 or 4 different arm angles, you're going to have a sore shoulder.
So Smith right back up with the major league club. He was here, of course, most of the first month of the season. Nice piece of hitting right there by Marlon Byrd. So his hit streak goes to 16 straight games. That's the longest current hitting streak in all of baseball. At the Great American Ballpark Thursday, May 19th, 3 days from now, a special senior ticket offer presented by Tri-State Centers for Sight. Reds fans 60 and older may buy non-premium tickets at half price, but that's in advance of game day only. 12:35 this Thursday, Reds and the Pirates. Call 513-381-REDS or go to reds.com. Carlos Pena looking around at where the Reds are playing defensively. High fly ball in a deep right center field. And the Cubs lead 4-0. That's about the only place that guy can hurt you, right where Bailey threw it.
Well, that's the thing about Carlos Pena. You just have to be very careful on the first pitch. And they wanted that ball in, and it ran back out over the plate. And that would qualify as a mistake.
It's only the 4th home run this year for Pena, and 2 of them have come against the Reds. 1 against Cordero, and now 1 off Bailey. Boy, those are 2 big runs.
Both on the first pitch.
Coy Hill 1 out of 2 had a hit run single to right his last time up. Well, after that home run, this will be without a doubt the final inning Bailey pitches tonight. I mean, in a 2-0 game, maybe you laid him back, depending on his pitch count, and he sailed through this 6th inning.
His velocity is down either way, whether he's at 100 pitches or not. I think that 5th inning took a whole lot out of the kid.
Well, he's got numbers 8 and 9 in the batting order here. He's trying to take care of Hill and then Zambrano. Keep it at a 4-0 game after the 2-run home run here in the 6th inning by Carlos Pena. All right, Homer going to try and regroup a little bit now. I mean, this is an at-bat that is dangerously close to getting away from him. He was 1-2 on Coy Hill, who has 4 hits all year long until 1 hit tonight. And this should be the 2nd out of the inning.
He just took that fastball and threw it right in there and said, here, swing.
One of the major strengths the Cubs have is without a doubt the final 3 guys in their bullpen. On the right side, Kerry Wood is a setup man. From the left side, I'm not sure there's been a better left-handed reliever in the setup role in all of baseball in this young season than Sean Marshall.
Well, lefty on lefty, he's been about as tough as you can get.
And then they have a closer who is extremely erratic, but very tough to hit when he's throwing strikes. He's as good as anybody in the league, Carlos Marmol.
He has been effectively wild, I guess you could say.
Oh, and 2-1 Zambrano.
Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results. JTM.
1-2 to Zambrano. Struck him out. So the night more than likely over for Bailey. He gives up 6 hits, 4 runs in 6 innings here tonight. balance throw by Scott Rowland. Right through the legs of the runner Carlos Pena. That's why Hannigan couldn't handle it. That was a Coors Light Pregame brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Night is over for Homer Bailey.
It's got to be an awfully crazy feeling to feel like you battled as much as you possibly could and end up on the bottom side. And really the only bad pitch that he made all night long was the home run to Pena. Comes on a first pitch fastball.
Meanwhile, the Reds offensively, their only hit came from Homer Bailey. That was a one-out single in the third inning, and that was really their only threat at all against Carlos Zambrano so far tonight. They got that hit by Homer, then a walk to Stubbs, but Renteria bounced into a double play to end the inning. And that began a stretch of 7 straight hitters retired by Zambrano. So Miguel Cairo to bat for Bailey to begin the inning. Stubbs to follow. Renteria, and the Reds are hoping for a whole lot more than that, down 4-0.
The Reds have got to get back to the at-bats where they're being patient and fighting good pitches off and hitting mistakes. They have not done that tonight.
Zambrano not that flamethrower he used to be. Boy, there was a time where, I mean, he threw extremely hard. Not much anymore.
And threw hard with that same kind of movement that we've seen tonight. That was the one thing I was showing earlier with having Homer Bailey with that elbow up and that good power fastball. That's from the spot that Zambrano used to throw from. Boy, was he tough back then. Goodness gracious. Instead of sideways break on the fastball and the slider, those pitches were going down like hitting a lead pipe.
Two and two on Cairo. Low again, and the count has gone full. Well, Zambrano already 4 wins on the year, allowing about a hit an inning. But in 51 2/3 innings, and you tack on 5 more innings tonight, he's only allowed 4 home runs. And that is strike 3 called, and Cairo knew it. Third strikeout of the night for Carlos Zambrano, and kick off your weekend when the Reds get home after this upcoming lengthy trip. Friday, June the 3rd, they take on the Dodgers. And after the game, our Cincinnati fireworks show featuring a soundtrack that will take you away to Margaritaville. Thanks to Jeff Weiler Automotive Family. 381 Reds for tickets, or visit Reds.com right now. Stubbs is flied out to the wall in deep right center, and he's drawn a walk. Similar story tonight for the Boston Red Sox is here with the Reds. Boston swept the New York Yankees over the weekend, their big rival. And they're being shut out tonight by Baltimore.
Why you play the games, baby. That's why you play the game.
Off the glove of Ramirez, and that'll be a base hit for Drew Stubbs. So now make it 9 straight games. Stubbs has been on base at least twice. And maybe the start of something against Zambrano here in the 6th inning.
Boy, he got all the way around that ball. That had some serious topspin as that ball rolled right up the glove of Ramirez at third base.
Now Renteria.
You see,
look out swinging and bouncing to a double play.
You see where Zambrano's keeping that fastball. He's keeping it down as low as he can get it because he knows one swing of the bat here in this ballpark, and the Reds are right back in the game. As long as you're within slam reach here at Great American Ballpark, your lead is not safe.
Well, the Reds down 4-0. Stubbs more than likely not running, especially getting to the heart of the order next. Although you never know. If he feels like he can go, he has a green light. But there has only been one stolen base attempt against Zambrano this year. And typically teams don't attempt to steal on him very often at all. I mean, only 99 times in his entire career have they tried to steal a base against him.
No matter when he is out of the stretch, even with a runner at third base, he pitches with that slide step move to home plate, and he gets the ball there in a hurry.
Team's only 50 out of 99 trying to run against Zambrano. That's away. 3 balls and a strike to Renteria.
Well, this is the kind of at bat that you'd like to have. A good solid at bat from Renteria. Wears Zambrano down a little bit before Joey Votto heads to the plate.
Well, there's a walk. Well, now all of a sudden a hit by Stubbs, a walk to Renteria. And here comes Joey Votto. Nothing for Zambrano.
No. What's amazing about that is he's had 37 balls, only a 10-pitch difference between balls and strikes. But yet up until this inning, only 1 hit.
Well, 1 on Joey Votto, who's walked and grounded out to the shortstop Castro. Votto 5 home runs. He has not hit a home run as Joey in the month of May. But this is a sinking liner that'll fall in a base hit. That'll bring in Stubbs. And the Reds on the board. It's a 4-1 game. Boy, that is beautiful hitting right there by Joey Votto. Man, is that big league hit.
Sinking fastball away. He went down and got it and digs it out. Where this ball is headed. Right to the outside corner, down on the knees, and Votto digs it out of there and pops it right into left center.
Drew Stubbs safe at home, safe and secure. New York Life. The runner at second. Votto with his 23rd run batted in at first, and here comes Brandon Phillips.
I've heard it so many times, Tom. Folks walking on the streets, don't go to sleep on this Reds team. You'll wake up the next morning and they'll be on the front page of the newspaper. Reds win again.
That was certainly a trend they started not only last year, but the final 40 games of 2009 when they won 27 of their final 40 with a lot of the young players that are the core group of this team now. And of course, coming from behind is something they did regularly last year. And there's a base hit into left field. They will wave around Renteria. He will come in and score, and it is a 2-run game. Votto just does get back.
That's a good job by Joey Votto. He came around second base awfully hard because he was going to go to third had the ball not been cut. And because of the fact that he came around second so hard, Ramirez cut the baseball, allowing Renteria to score easy.
And now Jay Bruce, the batter, representing a go-ahead run. Bruce has popped up weekly twice to the left fielder Soriano. He does lead the team with 8 home runs. And he's hoping Zambrano can make a mistake on the inner half of the plate. Well, he got a pitch to hit right there.
After that pitch up and in, most likely he's going to see that backdoor breaking ball or something off speed down and away from it.
A liner into right field, a base hit. They made the mistake in. They're going to wave around Votto. He will score the tying run to third.
Boy, what a bad throw from Fukudome. Fukudome threw the ball to second base instead of home. Man, I'm not even sure Mark Berry was going to wave Votto home until the throw went to second.
Well, now all of a sudden, 5 straight Reds have reached base. The tying run is at third base. The go-ahead run at first base. And here's Scotty Rowland, who twice has flied out to right field. 0-1.
And Big Z knocking on almost 95 pitches.
You know, we were talking about, you had said before that 0-2 pitch to Bruce about going away. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw him setting up inside again. I mean, Zambrano's been around a long time. He knows how to get people out and where to get them out.
Well, he was trying to get the ball underneath the hands of Jay, and the ball did not have the same break to it that it had earlier in the ball game. He just hooked it right by Pena.
1-1 on Rowland. Fastball away, 2 balls and a strike. Zambrano struck out the first batter in the inning, Cairo, on a 3-2 pitch. Stubbs with a hit, Renteria a walk, Votto an RBI single, Phillips an RBI single, Bruce an RBI single, and now Rowland with a chance to tie it, if not give him the lead, which he'll do. Hammered into left field and over the head of Soriano, and Bruce making his way to third. And here comes the throw. He is safe for third. Game time.
Oh, my goodness. That's about as bad of a misplay in left field as I've seen in a while. Scott Rowland thinks the ball is going to be caught. And he starts backing up. Does Soriano. You never, ever, never, ever back up and tread backwards. You don't backpedal in the outfield ever. You turn to one side or the other. And for Soriano there, he should have been turned with his glove towards the wall and running full speed. Oh, my goodness.
So the night is over for Carlos Zambrano. After retiring the first batter in the inning, he allows 6 straight Reds to reach base. And our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen will bring on a very busy right-hander this year for the Cubs, the one-time Red farmhand, Marcus Mateo. 4-4 game, runners at second and third, infield in with one out for the Cubs, and here's Johnny Gomes against Marcus Mateo, and it's all the way to the backstop, and the go-ahead run will score. I'm pretty sure that's a wild pitch.
I'm sure that Johnny Gomes is saying the same thing. How in the world did he get out of the way of that? Oh, that is a chin shave and a look at Jay Bruce. His eyes had to be as wide as saucers as he comes home.
I think this ball took all the hair off Johnny Gomes' head.
And it was a slider. It was a breaking ball that went up there. My goodness.
I took his mohawk off.
Yeah, took it off all right. Almost took off that little thing on his chin.
Of course, Johnny shaved his head over the weekend, trying to maybe mix in some new mojo. So the Reds have a lead, infield in, runner at third. And this will bring in the run and maybe more. Johnny! Two-run big fly. Woo! Boy, there's ever a guy that needed that. It is Johnny Gomes. Good for him.
He stopped at second base. He thought it was a ground rule double. And the umpire looks at him and told him, that's a home run, son. And he went into dead sprint into the dugout.
Look at all the guys so fired up for Gomes. I mean, his teammates love this guy. And they're rooting like crazy for him to get things straightened out.
Be something that could do it, Tom. You're exactly right. Opposite field home run after getting knocked down. Check that out. Hammer time.
You hit the ball out of this ballpark tonight, the opposite field. That ball's killed.
I'm going to stop right here after my ground rule double. Oh, sir, you need to go on home. Thank you very much.
Not showing anybody up. How about this display here? First batter in the inning retired, and 7 in a row have reached 6 of them with hits. And the Reds have scored 7 runs.
And the thing that I like about it more than anything else is the starter is the one that is due to get the victory if the Reds can hold it where it is right now, because those 4 runs that were tacked on to Homer Bailey wasn't all his fault. It was just some serious unlucky mojo, as you would put it.
Well, you're the guy that always talks about mojo. That's a Southern thing down around New Orleans.
Yeah,
they're always talking about the mojo, and that's your town.
Yeah, it is.
I know it is.
Well, I think they're going. Are they going to the pen again? Nope. Johnny Gomes, look at that head right on the bat there. Head to the bat, to the ball, and goodbye, baby. They're all kidding him about stopping at second base.
Well, here's Cairo.
Does this count as a second pinch hit?
No, I think he's in a lineup now. He began the inning by striking out on a 3-2 pitch, borderline pitch. Well, that's the way this inning began. 1 out, nobody on, and not a single Red has been retired since. And Mateo comes in the game, throws a wild pitch. Allows a 2-run home run. Walks a batter. And now 2-0 on Cairo. A 7th spot here in the 6th inning. And there's still only 1 out.
Can you imagine if you're at the out-of-town scoreboard and you're looking up and you think, oh, the Cubs are beating the Reds 4-0. Can you believe it? And all of a sudden, bam, 7. Ah! No! That's got to be wrong. Couldn't have happened.
Three and 1 now on Miguel Cairo. And a borderline strike there. 3-2. Cairo is saying, come on now, you rung me up the last time on a pitch that could have gone either way. And there's ball 4. And the Cubs just now are going to get somebody up in the bullpen. Cairo in this inning has seen 12 pitches and not once has swung the bat.
That is pretty amazing.
2 at-bats, 12 pitches, did not swing 1 time.
2 different pitchers. Well, here we go again.
Now they have a left-hander Russell, the right-hander Jeff Samardzija getting loose in the Cub bullpen, and Bruce Stubbs, who started this rally of what now stands as 9 straight Reds to reach base. He had a 1-out hit up the third base line. And scored a run. 1 of the 7 so far, and looking for more. You had just said before this inning started, the Reds needed to start putting together some advance where they have a little patience. I mean, Zambrano was on a roll here tonight.
And I felt bad because the at-bat by Cairo was an awfully good at-bat, and he gets rung up on a 3-2 backdoor breaking ball. But then the at-bat that made the biggest difference was not the single by Stubbs. It was the walk to Renteria. Because then you got Joey up there with runners in scoring position, and, well, we kind of know what he does in that spot.
Brandon Phillips, too.
And then the merry-go-round began.
Two at 2 on Stubbs.
The Reds need to keep their foot on the accelerator right now.
Both runners will advance. Hannigan on to third and Cairo to second, and Stubbs is retired, and they're 2 away in the inning, and here comes Renteria. Renteria, one of those guys, and we've seen so many games already this year. He had that stretch of 9 straight games starting in short, where in his first couple of at-bats of the game, he'll look very, very bad. Sometimes he'll look overmatched.
I've noticed that too.
But then as the game goes on, I mean, he delivers some huge at-bats for this team. I mean, look no further than just the other night on Friday night, the opener of the Cardinals series. You know, he popped up in the shallow center, popped up in the first base against Loesch. Then he had that double to start the rally in the 6th inning, scored a run, drew a huge walk in the 2-run 7th, and of course had a 2-run double in that 7th inning. His last 2 times up, he walked. 0-2 here to Renteria. I mean, he was the guy that walked, you may remember, in the 10th inning.
To set it all up.
Absolutely. That'll allow Votto to come to the plate, and he had a game-winning hit off Jason Mott.
Well, he's standing in another big spot right here, even though Mateo's got him in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Check swing, foul ball, nearly hit Joey Votto in the on deck circle. His next pitch will be the 50th pitch thrown in this inning.
By Cubs pitchers.
Yes. In this half inning, I should say more accurately. 0-2 the count on Renteria. And it's away. Good eye there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, Zambrano gives up 6 of the 7. And you're talking about a guy who started this 6th inning having allowed no runs and only 1 hit. Struck out 3 and walked 2. Inning over, but what an inning. 7-run score and a big home run for Johnny, but still a long way to go. We're at the end of 6. Cincinnati Children's in the top 10 for all selected pediatric specialties in U.S. News and World Report's 2010 Best Children's Hospitals. By your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. We'll look at the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum right alongside the entrance to the ballpark. And the fans still rejoicing. The 7-run Reds bottom half of the 6th inning to take a 3-run lead. And Dusty Baker going to go to his bullpen and taking over for Homer Bailey. And what a job this guy has done, both as a starter and reliever, Sam LeCure. Top of the order for Chicago, Fukudome, followed by Barney and Castro. LeCure did not allow a run in any of his last 4 outings, spanning 5 2/3 innings. He pitched in 2 of the 3 games in Chicago. Going 2 2/3, allowed 1 hit and got out of that bases loaded jam.
That bases loaded in both ball games he was in. His comment to me, there's a little more adrenaline when that phone rings down there than before you start the game. I said, well, there's not a whole lot of chance to get butterflies in the bullpen because you don't know if you're going in or not until they call your name. And then it's just instant.
On the ground to Brandon Phillips. 1 out. Well, before this whole stretch of games inside the division began, we talked how important these games would be, Jeff Brantley, to set the tone and really try to get on a roll. At the time when this thing began, the Reds were reeling a little bit. Well, they're 9-3 with these 4 games, including tonight, left in the 16 in a row against the Central.
Well, I think the big issue was what were the Reds going to do when the Cardinals came to town. I think that was the question mark and the big albatross hanging around, not the before and not the after, because you could really see them playing well against the Cubs and well especially against the Pirates because of what the Pirates did here earlier. But to have the Reds come out and not just 2 out of 3 but a sweep against the Cardinals has to make this club feel like a championship ball club. Yeah, we're only a quarter of the way through the season, but you got to feel awfully good about yourself right now. Now you got to put it together each and every night. Now you play ball.
I just missed the outside corner.
And he is tight as a tick. I'm telling you. Pitches he's calling on Zambrano's side. Needs to open the lock to the safe here.
LeCure got ahead 0-2, and now all of a sudden, after just missing with that 0-2 pitch, it's run full on Barney.
Well, you miss like that where you're expecting to get a strike and then you lose your concentration a little bit. You can't do that with this umpire.
I'll tell you, it's been a very impressive night for that young man.
There's no doubt that he knows how to hit.
He has been on base all 4 times tonight, 3 straight hits and an RBI. Take the Reds with you on the road this year. Subscribe to MLB.TV by visiting Reds.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Well, even though you scored 7 runs, they came in the 6th inning, which means there is still quite a bit of baseball to be played here tonight.
No doubt about it. That's why those 2 runs that were left aboard, those are big runs.
Now Starlin Castro's walk bounced into a double play and flied out to right, breaking ball to strike.
See, that's the part I don't understand. You get that call, but you don't get the pitch that you made that came back to the plate that was right on the money. This is exactly what Hannigan wants to talk with Sam LeCure about right now. Forget about the umpire. Forget about how tight the zone is. You got to make these guys swing the bat. Keep the ball down and let's go after them.
One and one on Starlin Castro. Runner at first, 1 out. LeCure to the plate. And it's off the outside corner, 2-1. Of course, the Reds didn't figure yesterday on needing so many members of their bullpen. They had Andrusic for an inning, Arredondo in a 1-2-3/8. Wallace Chapman walked 4 batters, only got 1 out. Bassett came in, allowed a 2-run double. Cordero came in, had to give the final 2 outs to nail that thing down. It was a hairy 9th inning. A ground ball, and Barney will advance to second as Castro is thrown out by Phillips. Now, it's hard to imagine, and Cowboy, you know, you did this for a living and you did it wonderfully, being a closer. But, I mean, do you ask Cordero to go for a 4th straight night if you need a save here tonight?
Yes. I was alerted to that fact early in my career by one of the best ones, and that was Goose Gossage. And he told me right quick, they're going to come in bunches when they come, and there will be times in your career where you don't think that you'll ever get another save opportunity ever. And when they come, you be ready, whatever it takes. That's why you have to learn how to pitch and not just throw.
And Cordero knows how to pitch.
Yes, he does.
Well, that's a good pitch right there by LeCure, and this will end the inning.
Good job.
They stand and stretch at Great American Ballpark. Reds lead 7-4. Magazine family section and a Kroger meal deal for only $15, regularly priced at $31. For tickets for the Reach Magazine family section, visit reds.com/family or call 513-381-REDS today.
You know, Tom, we were talking earlier about pitching and the zone and all of those things, and talking about the ability of Sam LeCure to know how to add and subtract and how to pitch and to use his stuff in the strike zone, even when you don't get the perfect call or the perfect strike zone. Well, the reason that Sam is a survivor, if you will, even if he doesn't get the corners, he knows how to take a little bit off of his fastball and how to add to the fastball in the heart of the plate and still get hitters out. And those pitchers that can do that, they will survive, and they'll be around this game a long time.
Well, here's a guy they're hoping that will be able to start doing that more regularly, and that's Jeff Samardzija. I beg your pardon. He was getting loose in the bullpen, the right-hander. They brought in a lefty first to face Votto, and that's James Russell. Of course, his daddy, born and raised right here in Cincinnati, Jeff Russell. James was born here, but after his dad moved on to pitch for the Rangers, that's where he grew up. And there's his dad. Boy, it's a long time ago.
He had some kind of sinking, moving heater, too.
There's folks there watching him. There's a pop-up, about 4 guys running after that.
Nice play.
Well, that's a shortstop that got to that ball.
All the way in shallow right field, and the problem there is Fukudome just stopped. He sees 3 people coming to the same area. He just put the brakes on. I don't know if he could play for me.
Sure.
Fly ball. You see him, he's not even in the picture. He is way over there. Look at this. He just stops back here in the background. And you've got your young shortstop that goes all the way out to right center to catch the ball. Come on, man.
One and 0 to count on Brandon Phillips. 1 for 3, knocked in a run and scored a run in the 7-run 6th inning. Barney this time. And Russell has retired the first 2 batters here in the Reds' 7th inning. Zambrano allows 6 runs, 6 hits in 5 1/3 innings.
And pitched way better than that. He just ran out of the gas.
And Jay Bruce shoots one up the right field line. That'll be a double by Bruce, who had a big run scoring single in that 7-run 6th. And now a double to go along with it.
That's the one thing about James Russell. As time goes on, you can't just rear back and throw it as hard as you can. That ball's got to be down and away, and he leaves it down and in, and you and I both well know you leave it down and into Jay Bruce, you're going to be staring at him at second, or you might be staring at him at home rounding the bases.
Well, that's going to do it for Russell, so we'll get a look at the guy that I'd introduced when the inning began, Jeff Samardzija, the former wide receiver for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. I think Brian Kelly would like to have him even now, except he's out of eligibility.
The right-hander comes on for the Cubs, 2-0 with a 3.27 earned run average, 22 innings, 23 strikeouts, but 20 walks to go with it.
When we saw the Cubs in Chicago, Samardzija was on quite a roll. He had gone 15 consecutive scoreless innings. That changed shortly after the Reds left. This past Wednesday night, he gave up 3 runs. That was the middle of last week. But in 10 of his last 11 overall games, he has not allowed a run.
Like to take this time at least to tell the folks at Penn Station East Coast Subs, that was real nice at dinner tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got the grill thing all right, and it was awfully good. Thank you very much.
It was really good. Thanks a lot, indeed. One and two to count on Scotty Rowland. Jay Bruce out at second, 2 out in the inning. Of course, they have that name Penn Station East Coast Subs, but they're founded and based right out of Cincinnati.
I'm a cheesesteak fan.
Gone swinging, rolling, and that'll end the inning.
It's a good pitch.
So the 8th around the bend. Reds with a 3-run lead. Time for this guy coming, Mr. Brantley.
Got a pitch up in the strike zone, and it's not the fact that he hit a home run, it's where he hit the home run. And it was in right center field. And for Johnny Gomes, that's a good place for him to get a good start. And you could see the excitement on his teammates' face as he comes into the dugout. They pull just as hard as the Reds fans pull for him, and probably harder.
Johnny Gomes' first home run since April the 17th against the Pirates. It's been a while. Soriano, Bird, and Pena against Sam LeCure in his second inning of work following Homer Bailey. Bailey, of course, is in line for the win in this game tonight. After the Reds scored 7 times in the bottom of the 6th inning, he was taken down in that inning for a pinch hitter.
Golly.
I'll tell you, this is really bad.
When he sees the replay of this ball game, he is not gonna like himself very much.
That ball is kissed into right center field right there. And it's up against the wall, and it's Stubbs fielded it cleanly. He might have had a chance to throw him out at second base.
Yeah, because he was Cadillacing around first base. See where he catches the ball down in the strike zone, and he got every bit of it. Check him out. He's coming out of the box about 1/4 speed. But you're right, Tom. I think if Stubbs gets the ball on the bounce, you've got to play at second base.
But now Marlon Byrd, 1 of 3 in a game. Breaking ball in near strike. 1 of 3 Birds singled and scored in the 6th inning. He had that 1-out base hit in front of the Carlos Pena home run. Left-hander Bill Bray begins to get loose in the Reds bullpen, and he's getting ready for the guy on deck. Base hit center field. They're going to wave around the runner. Here comes a throw to the plate, and he is out. What a throw by Stubbs. Had to clear the mound, of course, as every center fielder has to do on the throw. And it was right on the bullseye.
This is Soriano. He doesn't pick it up until the last couple of steps coming home. But when you got a guy in center field that gets after it as much as Stubbs does, you better get after it at least as equal amount.
That's going to be all for Sam LeCure. He gives up 3 hits in an inning and a third. No strikeouts, no walks. And he'll give way to the left-hander Bill Bray. Well, I tell you what, I have no idea what's going to happen the rest of the year. Nobody does. Nobody has that crystal ball. So, you know, we're all wasting our time saying this is going to happen and that's going to happen and that's not going to happen and so on and so forth. But I do know one thing, if nothing else. There is nobody even close that we have seen so far this year in the National League. No one remotely close that plays the kind of defense the Reds play.
No.
This is a sensational defensive team.
And what's sad about what has happened here in the last few days is the Reds have made 3, maybe 4 errors here in the last 4 ball games, but they were on plays of basic impossibilities. But they tried to create something, and it ends up like the throw from Roland. It ends up going through the guy's legs. It's blocked off by the catcher. But we have seen time and time again, just like the throw from Drew Stubbs there, like the hustle from Jay Bruce out in left field. We've seen Brandon Phillips do it time and time again. This club outplays its opponents just from a hustle factor. And that's one of the reasons they're winning this game tonight. They've just flat out played that club in blue.
So now Bill Bray's role becomes a much more important role with Aroldis Chapman going on the DL. Look at those numbers. Has allowed just 3 hits to the last 51 left-handed batters that he has faced.
Now he has come on not only stuff-wise, but he has come on in his confidence and in his ability to locate his pitches when he comes into the ball game. And I think as the season goes along, he will get better and better and better.
I remember Frank Robinson telling me right before the trade was made, when Bray was dealt from the Washington Nationals to the Cincinnati Reds. And of course, Frank Robinson, the former Reds great Hall of Famer, was the manager of the Nationals of that team. So the one guy on our staff that I think has a chance to be a great closer one day is Bill Bray. But of course, injuries and wildness They've probably given him a step or two back in his career, but he's still so young. He has plenty of time to get it straightened out. He's on his way right now.
He has a very different type of throwing action. I think that's one of the reasons that he had some issues with the injury. He had some issues with the wildness caused by the injury. But I think now he's much more aware of his mechanics and what he needs to do. He's tightened up that pitch right there. That's no longer that big, wide 78, 77 mile an hour curveball that a left-hander could see. That's an 85 mile an hour slider that looks like a fastball. And as you swing the ball, the bottom falls out of it. So one thing about being in the big leagues, if you stay the same, you will get passed by. You get better a little bit better each and every day. Your stats will show it, and you'll play a long time.
Pena clubbed that 2-run home run to right field in the 6th inning. You thought the Reds might be in a little bit of trouble here tonight. That put Chicago ahead 4-0. And the way Zambrano was throwing the ball at the time, I mean, you knew the Reds would find a way to at least threaten against him and try to get back in this game. But we were already starting to talk about the back end of Mike Quaddy's bullpen and how effective that trio has been. I mean, it was bang, 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 and 7 runs later, the Reds had this 3-run lead.
Well, the inning that I keep looking at right now is the 5th inning for Homer Bailey. That was an inning where he very well could have given up the farm, and it didn't happen. Everything was falling apart, and it didn't happen. He gave up a couple of runs. He was able to get out of that inning without it just falling apart.
2-2 to Pena. That's a fair ball. Votto. Wow. Nicely done. Bird on to third, 2 out. We have a switch hitting Coy Hill coming up. Reds are going to leave Bill Bray in to face him.
Good job there by Bill Bray. He's in the baseline, so he knows the runner's not in front of him. He's under control enough to be able to make the catch and then step on the bag.
Runner at third, 2 are out. Coy Hill, 1 of 3 in the game, singled back in the 5th inning.
You see so many times a pitcher covering first, Tom, they run straight to the bag, and by the time they get the baseball, they've either fallen over the bag or they're trying to step back to the bag. You've got to break down a little bit as you get to the bag and be ready to be a fielder so that you can catch the baseball in case it's not a good throw. And that wasn't a great throw there because of where Joey Votto was taken to have to get the baseball. He had to make a pirouette throw, almost a blind throw to a man on the move. Not an easy task unless you're Brett Favre.
Hard hit ball. Look at Renteria. An exclamation point.
Did you say defense? Did you say defense?
I said defense. in the Kroger bleachers. 381 Reds, or visit Reds.com.
After every Reds game, stay with Fox Sports Ohio for Reds Live, the place with the most comprehensive highlights of your Cincinnati Reds. Plus, hear from Dusty Baker and the stars of the game before anywhere else. That's Reds Live postgame, brought to you by Kings Honda in the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com.
All right, Reds coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a 7-4 lead. Reds have come back from 4-0 down, and the Cubs are going to bring in their closer, Carlos Marmol. 9 walks in 16 and 2/3 innings, 22 strikeouts. Extremely tough to hit. And that one in the air at the bat of Johnny Gomes, and Fukudome waves off Bird. 1 out.
Now, I know that was just a fly ball into right field, but that's a much better swing from Johnny Gomes than what we've seen here in the past. You never know what a home run like that can do for a guy. It may not help him at all, but it may turn him around all the way in the better direction.
Ball 1 to Ryan Hannigan. 0 for 2. Drew a walk in the 7-run 6th inning. Chris Heisey stands in the on-deck circle.
I'm wondering if Marmol could throw 3 strikes in this guy's strike zone tonight. I'm just being honest. As tight as he's been tonight.
Breaking ball in there, strike.
You know that Hannigan has to know how tight it's been. He's standing there like a statue.
Come for the Reds Day for more fun. Make it a home run weekend and visit the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. Book your trip today at CincinnatiUSA.com. Cubs 9th inning, they'll have a pinch hitter. And then back to the top of the order. Reds have Jose Arredondo. And they have Francisco Cordero getting loose in the bullpen. Here's ball 4 to Hannigan.
I know very rarely do you have a take for a regular hitter. But with this guy on the mound, if I had one, I might give it.
Chris Heisey clubbed a home run yesterday. It was not a pinch hit home run. He had already been brought in as part of a double switch. But he has 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in and just 57 at bats.
His numbers are ridiculous for a guy that's not getting a chance to play.
And when you start chasing that pitch, and for a right-handed batter, it looks very enticing. But it really, for Marmol, it's all about whether that batter chases that pitch. Because if he takes it, it's 2-0.
Well, that's what Marmol relies on. You swinging at the pitch. If you come to the plate and you make him throw you a strike and you get the ball up, you're going to get a pitch to hit, or he's going to walk you.
You know, they used to call Larry Anderson the human slider. I mean, all those years he had such an outstanding career as a major leaguer. I'm not so sure at the end of the day, the way Marmol has been going over the last, say, back half of last year and the early part of this year, the games we've seen him on TV, I'm not sure anybody's throwing more sliders than this guy.
His elbow will pay for it.
I mean, nothing but sliders in that at bat, and he strikes out Heisey.
And the thing about Larry Anderson, what helped him elongate his career was that he threw the breaking ball. It was a cut fastball. And even though the ball looked like a slider coming out of his hand, the majority of pitches that he threw were cut fastballs. They were straight over the top, fingers down through the baseball. He wasn't turning the baseball like Marmol is. You start turning it like you're opening a door, well, you're going to be seeing Andrews or Job or one of those guys out there.
Or Kremchek.
Yeah, or Kremchek, exactly.
Two and 0 to Stubbs. Two more times on base tonight for Stubbs. That's 9 straight games he's done that. 2 and 1. When Marmol used to throw hard, I mean, it was only a year or two ago.
I mean, he was lighting up the gun at 96, 97. But when you throw all breaking balls, your fastball leaves.
I mean, the hardest fastball, and he's not throwing very many of them tonight, was 92. Now, it could be one of those nights, and it could be something on the gun, and, you know, we don't see him very much.
But you're right, though. I mean, every pitcher has that. If you don't elongate those muscles in your arm and get that extension on the fastball, it's going to retract a little bit, and you're going to lose that last little bit of miles per hour.
Well, a lot of breaking balls and a lot of swings and misses. He walks 1, strikes out 2. We go to the 9th. Reds leading 7-4. In the top of the 8th inning, doesn't get much better than this on a throw from center field.
Not only did he charge the ball directly off the bat, he got the ball where the throw was over the top of the mound. It didn't hit on the backside of the mound. You get that throw right over the top of the dirt. You one-hop it to the plate. And Soriano, deader than a doornail. You want to score from second base, you better not jog. Not on this defense.
Well, now for the 4th consecutive day, the Reds bring on their closer, Francisco Cordero. He is having an outstanding year. He has 1 blown save. League batting 197 against him. One of his blown save, his only blown save, was against the Chicago Cub team.
And it was the one pitch, the first pitch fastball to Pena that he hit out of the ballpark.
Izzy remains in the game to play left field, so the night is over for Johnny Gomes, who had a big home run tonight. And Blake DeWitt, the batter. DeWitt had a big hit off Cordero in that 2-run bottom of the 9th inning in the 3-2 Cub win, their only win in that 3-game series. Lined into right, caught by Jay Bruce. DeWitt had that 1-out single and wound up scoring the winning run. Saturday, May the 28th coming up. The UEFA Champions League final comes to Fox, a rematch of 09. Barcelona taking on Manchester United. Fox Sports exclusive coverage of the UEFA Champions League final begins Saturday, May 28th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time in HD. 1 out, top of the 9th. It was a 0-0 game until the Cubs scored 2 in the 5th, got a 2-run home run by Pena in the 6th. And then the Reds, with 1 out and nobody on, having managed 1 hit by Homer Bailey in the 3rd inning against Carlos Zambrano, have 9 straight batters reach base, scoring 7 runs. And they've never looked back, and the Cubs are down to their final out of the 9th. Bailey in line for the win, Zambrano the loss, and Cordero gunning for save number 8 and 9 tries. Good night for Darwin Barty. He's walked. Has 3 singles and a run batted in. Strike 1. Up through the middle. Renteria in time, and that's at Cordero with a 1-2-3 9th inning. And the Reds have ripped off 4 straight wins to begin this 7-game homestand. And for the first time all year long, the Reds are 7 games over 500.
You talked about defense, and you talked about hitting with runners in scoring position. Well, the Reds had 1 inning where everybody was in scoring position, and they made it all happen right there.
Bailey the winner, Zambrano the loser, Cordero the save. So 1 more to go tomorrow night against the Cubs. Tickets are available, so come on down to the ballpark. Again, it will be a 7:10 first pitch. Then the Pirates come in for 2. And then, Cowboy, you try to keep this thing rolling. Because that next road trip is a big,
huge one.
But 1 game at a time, as they like to say. 7-4 the final. We're back with more in a moment.